This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where, that's right, business owners share their wisdom. It's short, to the point, because we respect people's time, and because we know, we all know that possibility happens fast. It really happens fast, and it leads to lasting results as well. So let's get to it. Enough of that. Chris, in a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I'm Chris Naugle up here in Buffalo, New York, and what we do is very simple. We solve people's money problems by putting them back in control of their money. It's the simplest way I can say it.
I love that. Aren't you America's #1 money? What is it?
Yeah, America's #1 money mentor. That's a name somebody gave me back a long time ago, and it's just stuck. It's not something I came up with, but I've just accepted it and I'm rolling with it.
Oh, listen to the humility. I love it. I love it. America's number one money mentor. That's correct, yes. Right?
Mm-hmm. That is correct.
Absolutely love it, my man. What a great statement. Question number 2, Chris. What's the best thing about being in business?
The best thing about being in business is it's kind of like a dream. Whatever you dream, whatever you believe, you can actually achieve if you put your mind to it. Being in business just provides you the ability to build the thing you think about every single day, instead of building something for somebody else that maybe you're not fully, engaged in. You just do it for a paycheck. I truly believe that people shouldn't trade hours for dollars. They should trade hours to chase their dreams and the freedom, as I call it, the perfect day. I want to live my perfect day, and creating businesses allows me that freedom to do that.
Oh, what a powerful answer. And there's some really gold nuggets hidden in there. There's like 2 or 3 of those real gold, like if you get it, you get it kind of nuggets you just shared. I get it and I dig it. I really do. There's a little bit of Napoleon Hill in there. Like just some.
Yeah, absolutely. You got it. You got it. I love it. But, you could go down a rabbit hole on each one of those topics, but plain and simple, right from the surface, that's what it is to own a business to me.
So let me ask you a question I didn't expect to ask you. So what you brought it up, what's your perfect day look like?
Well, my perfect day, we don't have time for that, but it's basically, I know exactly. So here, let me tell you how that came about. I'm a really hard worker, A-type personality, and I just work. I had a mentor that I wanted to hire. And to hire him, he had to interview me, and he asked me, he said, so, you told me all this stuff. That's great. You're successful, but why do you work as hard as you do? And for 15 minutes, I was giving him my answers that I thought was, hey, this is justification for why I work. And he kept telling me, nope, that's not it. No, that's not why you do that. And after 15 minutes, I just throw my arms up. I'm like, obviously, you know why I'm working more than I do. So please tell me. He says, well, you have not told me the goal that you're working toward. And he said, what does your perfect day look like? He said, I can't help you get there through mentorship or coaching or anything if you don't know what that day looks like. I took that so serious because it made so much sense that I literally spent a month. And if anyone thinks they can write their perfect day out in less than that, good for you. You're sleeping less than I did. I started with the moment I woke up and opened my eyes. I know what I smell. I know what I see. I know who I'm with. I know every aspect of it. And throughout my entire day, if we had time, which we don't, I could outlay every one of those things through the day, who I'm with, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And then right to the point where when I lay down in that bed and I am ready to close my eyes, I can pretty much recite that day. But here's the thing. Certain parts of that day have materialized. So although the whole day is not there, and it never will be, because I'll never arrive. There's a thing called arrival syndrome, which I'll never, ever arrive. A lot of people hit their goal and they stop. It's kind of like when people retire. They just say, oh, I'm going to stop working. Most of them die. I like to say graduate. I don't ever want to arrive, because then I just feel like I have no purpose and I have no initiative to work towards something. So my day constantly changes. When something happens that I reach that specific thing, maybe the car in the garage actually materializes, I up that goal. That day has to change continuously. So for me to tell you what the day is, it's what it is today. Tomorrow, certain parts may change. And throughout my life, that day will always evolve.
Deep stuff, my friend. Sincerely, that is some deep stuff. And I love it. And thank you for just playing, because you really highlighted what a powerful mentor or coach can do for people. So if you've never worked with a coach or a mentor. That's a great illustration of just one of the many things that they can do to help bring clarity. I love that you shared that, Chris. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Question number 3. This is one of my favorite questions as a systems guy, as a pattern guy. I'm like, we hear from like business owners that they're getting so much business. Yes, even through all the things we've been through recently, people who are super clear getting so much business, so many people magnetized to them that sometimes the chaos causes some overwhelm. Would you be willing to share your thoughts, Chris, on that subject?
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed right now. So this is a great topic. So one of the things that I learned a long time ago in business is, as we evolve in business, as we make more money, we have decisions. We can either take more, buy more things in that, or we can keep putting that money back into the business. And I believe one of the greatest investments we can all make outside of investing in ourselves is investing in marketing. So I am continuously, as we make more and more, putting more and more into marketing, which creates more leads, more calls, which also creates massive problems, because it's great to want more business, but if you don't have the processes and procedures to handle that business, well, now you've got yourself a brand new problem that you've never had. One of the best problems, but also one of the worst problems when you're in it. I'm there right now. And the one thing that we do have is very good processes, very good systems, and we have an unbelievable rock star team. But you eventually I don't want to say you outgrow the team, but the team gets work to their maximum potential. And you can only push them so far. So at that point, you have to expand your team. And that's what we've been doing. But expanding a team is tough, because when you build a team, and it's been that way for a while, you have a culture. And bringing new team members in to facilitate this newfound business that has to get taken care of, or at least we think has to be taken care of right then and there, otherwise we're going to lose it. That requires bringing in outsiders into a culture that's very stabilized and very secure. So what we've had to do is we've literally had to develop processes for something I never thought I'd do, which is, how do we create a culture for someone new coming in? How do we expose them to what we have? How do we teach them that the culture is the single most important thing, and that is never to be broken? And if it means costing us business, or if a client doesn't fit, or that person that we're bringing on to the team doesn't understand the culture and just doesn't seem like a good fit, you got to fire fast. So that's been our hardest thing right now, is we pretty much hire just from within our clients. We do a very specialized thing here with privatized banking. So we can't just hire out on the street. So it's been interesting, but what we've basically done to facilitate that is all of the team members have taken on challenges to do more. Work one weekend a month, or work, a night till 8 o'clock at night to facilitate the business. So I think just the simple answer is it's a good problem, but we all hopefully will have that problem. And when you do, don't rush to fill or plug the hole. Take some time in who you hire, who you bring into your team, or what systems and processes you build. Because if you build them wrong, trying to facilitate that big growth, it could crash and burn, which would be far worse than losing a couple customers because you weren't ready for this massive growth.
Absolutely love everything you just delivered, Chris. It's so powerful. And it's such a great conversation, not one that you often see like out on social media today or on the internet. Like it's an internal, business growth pain kind of space. Mm-hmm. And so I really appreciate what you shared, especially about, it's not just about the systems, but the systems need to support the people, which you highlighted, right? And support the team. That's the point of it all, right?
I agree.
And so I love that you shared that. So
I think a lot of people today are chasing the almighty dollar, trying to make as much money, but they're sacrificing things that later will cost them that dollar that they made today, because they just didn't prepare for it. They're rushing to fix and plug holes and put band-aids on. Those band-aids come off, and then all of a sudden you got a big problem. Maybe I've just been in business a very long period of time where I've seen that happen, but I'm very slow to build the team. And if that costs me customers, that's just cost of doing business.
Yeah, I'm with you. Would you agree then, hire slow, fire fast? I think you
100%.
alluded to that. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, but in my old days, no, I would never have done that. I would have hired fast just to get all the business, and I would have lost sleep just because I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm losing customers. If those customers are really going to be customers, they're going to stay with you, they will wait, because patience is a virtue.
Isn't that the truth? Deep value, my friend. If you missed all those nuggets he was sharing, I want to encourage you to just scroll back a little bit and really, because once again, a whole lot of value just wrapped up into, a short, brief statement. So thank you, Chris. Appreciate you. Question number 4. This is a fun one. What other successful business owners like yourself, of course, Chris, should be on the Unlimited Wisdom podcast?
Well, I know a lot of them, but one in particular kind of stands out just based on what we've gone through so far up to this point. His name is Chris Root. He was known as one of the top wholesalers in the country, but he has pivoted his business, and now he really focuses on building mobile home parks and buying mobile home parks the same way he used to acquire properties for wholesale business, which I think is fascinating because he's out there searching for the deals, the gems in the mobile home park industry. He's a great businessman. He's very shrewd and he's very to the point, but he has had massive success, and it will be long-standing success because he has good principles, a great business, an unbelievable team, and just a desire to outwork just about anybody I know.
I love that. I look forward to connecting with him. That is, I'll just add what you shared already. That is a huge business right now.
Yes.
Big trend on that. And with storage, I know storage is another huge trend for anybody listening, for looking for investments. I know those two are just growing right now. Appreciate that. I look forward to connecting. Let's get to some wisdom. Chris, what do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wisdom is something that's earned, not let's just dive right into it.
You nailed it, man. It is, right? Wisdom and experience come through actions. They're not bestowed upon you from book, right? What piece of wisdom, Chris, would you share with other business owners?
Yeah, and I'm going to recite a quote by Will Rogers because I think this is purely wisdom. He says, "The biggest problem in America is not what people don't know." Will says, "The biggest problem in America is what people think they know that just ain't so." That is probably the single sum up I can give you for wisdom, because in today's world of FOMO and people chasing unrealistic returns, because we're in strange times, I think a lot of people are missing simple, old school wisdom of people that have been there, done that, failed at doing that, and have gained the wisdom out of time and just experience. Where a lot of new people, yes, there's a lot of new wealth, there's a lot of new ways to make money, but it's not about making money or getting rich. It's about keeping it. And wisdom is how you keep your wealth. And getting rich, well, it looks good on paper. It's fun to chat about on social media, but you know what? Those that seek unrealistic returns shall give back the money, and their wealth will flee them. So it's a very important lesson in today's times, because being in the money space and, kind of having that title and knowing a lot about it, I think a lot of people, unfortunately, it's just all about failing to learn, are going to realize some really hard times because they lack wisdom and they fail to go out and seek somebody that has the wisdom they need. They're just arrogant.
I love what you showed that. You just touched a point that I think is timeless, my friend. Just today, it's definitely in today's world, and today with the information age that we're in, and there's so much information out there, right? But you touched a point that really struck a key with me, because being in business as long as I have and as long as you have, we see these things that maybe some newer people don't see. And that is, you nailed it. You completely nailed it. And that is, it's not about getting it. It's about keeping it. It's the sustainability. Almost anybody today, at least from my perspective, what I believe and what I've seen, is anybody can go out and build a business and make some money, which is great. And it's really not hard to do. All of the steps, the information is all out there today on the internet on how to do that. The real key, though, is sustaining it. So I absolutely love the way you delivered that, Chris. What advice would you, I imagine you see these very common or frequently asked questions or very common mistakes from your perspective. What advice would you give someone who's a little newer to the space in how to not just make it, but sustain it?
It's very simple. Focus on solving other people's problems every single day of your life. Stop worrying about your problems and the things you want and the material things that, can be bought with the money that you're making today, which is easy to make. Start changing everything and give your best stuff away for free. go out there every single day you wake up with the intent to solve other people's problems. And if you do that one thing above everything else, there is no way possible that you cannot succeed to the wildest, craziest levels of your imagination. But if you violate that law, if you start focusing on, oh, I'm going to give, or I'm going to help this person because I'm going to get something for that, if you put yourself in that equation, again, your wealth will flee you.
Chris, I hear a little bit of maybe there's the notion of Zig Ziglar's quote in there, but help somebody else. You want to get what you want, help someone else get what they want.
Yeah, absolutely. Help enough people get what they want, and you will get what you want. And I call me just a history buff. I study history probably more than anyone else. I'm a nerd with it, but I also study stories. And a lot of what I do today is based on principles that were done back before Christ. I mean, the richest man in Babylon, the principles and the wealth, the laws of gold back then. I apply those in today's world, and I'm writing a book called The Laws of Wealth, which is the new version of The Richest Man in Babylon. It's so simple, but so complicated. The laws, there's only 6 of them. They're not hard to follow, but they're so easy to break the laws because of greed, FOMO, and everything that's happening in today's world. I see it more than just about anybody, and it's sad because I know the outcome, because it's the only outcome that can happen, and it will. It's just a matter of time.
Chris, I wish I would have connected with you in my younger years before I lost it all, my friend.
That's all right. I lost it all 3 times. So if you connected with me in my younger years, we would have both been chasing the FOMO, losing it together, learning through failure, and then gaining the wisdom to not do it again.
I love it. Powerful lessons, man. Definitely. They're simple, but they're brilliant, and they're timeless principles. And that's what anybody listening or watching, please hear that. Everything you've shared, Chris, has been based and backed in a principle, timeless principle. That's what I love about what you shared. Great stuff.
Thank you.
So thank you. What I want to dive in a little bit to the team. So I know you're building your team and that kind of thing. So what would you, first I'll ask you if you agree. And then second, what I see in the market today is there's a lot of people who are building their team. And I think people really struggle in that space. One of the hardest things to do in business, it's easy. Well, it's not easy. Let me not say that. Correct myself. It's one thing to be a solopreneur. It's a different thing to have a team. So is there any advice that you would give someone from the years of experience that you have in how to start building their team and how to continue building their team?
Yeah, building a team, a lot of people want to hire somebody and then train them to be what they want. And I think the smarter thing is to take principles from like Netflix. Okay, there's a book called Powerful, written by the HR director, or the old HR director of Netflix. And what Netflix did was kind of what Steve Jobs did with Apple, and some would say it was the impossible. To do the impossible and to do things people don't believe are possible, you have to have a team that is built that can get you there. And building a team like that doesn't mean you hire somebody and train them to be what you want. It means going out and finding the best of the best and then bringing them onto your team, only teaching them your culture and your vision. And then because you brought on the best, they then can take you where you want to be because they've got the knowledge and the wisdom because they've already done it for somebody else. Now, the caveat to that is these people have to be paid a lot. But the other thing you have to realize in building a team is, people are only motivated so much by money. Everybody thinks, oh, pay them more and they're going to come. No, it's not. I have learned, and this is the hardest thing because I always thought the same thing. Okay, pay, the person more money and you get the better person. That's not it. People at certain levels of success aren't chasing money. The money's important, it's the carrot, but they want to chase culture and they want to be part of something bigger than them. They want, and because they believe in the universal law that we talked about with helping others, they want to solve other people's problems and they want to be part of something bigger than them that will outlive them so that their legacy, the stamp of their name is on that legacy that they helped build. When you can project your vision of what you're building in your company or your organization to somebody else, and then you can go out and find the people that fit that vision, not people that you think you can mold into that vision. That will never work. But you find the people that will fit that vision. It doesn't matter what you have to pay them. And not only just don't just offer them big pay, offer them incentives that if they hit the goals and help you build that company, that you will take them on that journey to whatever levels of success that is. And that's how you build a good team. And again, the book that I gotta give a lot of credit to, what I've learned, is called Powerful. And it's all about Netflix and how they did what they did. And it is not what you would think about how a company would hire and how a company would build a team.
Absolutely love it. Leadership principles, timeless principles, values. I mean, without even saying the word values, you actually delivered how values really create a culture. I absolutely love how you're tying that into culture, and it's really powerful stuff. And so I think there was a time when values didn't matter. Maybe money did matter, maybe years ago. I don't know. But I know there are tons of studies that, say that it's not money, it's recognition and these other things that you just delivered, that you just spoke into, that keep people. People don't, they don't leave companies, they leave leaders, right? I think that's said. So
yeah, and
thank you,
you
Chris.
got to lead from the front.
Indeed. And you, my friend, walk the talk. Look, I know you and I could probably talk business for quite a while. I'm really, with your background, I'm dying to know, what is the most fun vacation that you have ever had?
Oh, being an ex-pro snowboarder, I have seen some of the most beautiful places in the world. And also I'm an avid surfer. So when you asked that earlier and I read that, it's a hard one because I've seen so many beautiful things, but I'm going to go with Baldface. So many of you won't know what it is. It's a place way up in Canada, and it's in the mountains. It's not a resort. It's a couple cottages, and you have to take a helicopter up there. And then once you land, then cats or helicopters will take you to different peaks that you snowboard and you ride this. Now, the reason I say this is one of the greatest places is when you're that high in the mountains and you realize that there's no one coming to save you should something go bad because you're on the top of the mountain, you got there in a helicopter. You respect nature, you respect everything around you in a totally different light that I've never witnessed or experienced before in my life. So Baldface was single-handedly probably one of the most amazing experiences, and just one of the most beautiful things, getting up in the mountains and seeing the sun come up and watching the sun go down while you're that far in nowhere land was something that I can't really put words to.
I love it. I love how you painted that picture too. I just was scrolling through a couple of the experiences I've had through life that resembled that. Just the way you delivered that picture. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sounds beautiful. So I don't know if I'll ever have a chance, but I can live
breathtaking, and it's also you have to respect it because it'll take your life very quickly. A lot of people die out there. One of the legends in snowboarding lost his life up there.
I love it. Chris, one of the things I said in the beginning, and I'll say it again, I really appreciate the investment. This is an investment of your time. So I appreciate you being here to share with other people some of the lessons that you walked through. I'd like to really know, yes, I'm going to ask you about website or how they can, and I've been on your website, it's pretty darn sharp. But before I do that, what kind of initiatives are you working on today? Tell me a little bit about what's going on. You've been so humble. Like, let's hear about you and what you're doing in business right now. Would you be willing to share something?
Yeah, we do a lot of things. I mean, we are like heart surgeons in the financial world. We do something that so few people do, and we help people build privatized banking systems and become the bank. But one initiative that I'd actually like to talk about, because it's maybe more relevant in the business side, is a pet project of mine that I came up with. And this business, it's called Private Money Club, came about because of a problem I had. I'm a lender. I lend a lot of money, and I always had a hard time lending money to good borrowers. A lot of people would bring me deals to lend, but they bring me a deal on a piece of paper, and it's like, listen, no, you need to do this, I need that. I became like a slave to my own creation, where I had to spend all this time teaching a borrower how to be a good borrower. So what I started doing is I started creating processes and procedures of what would make a good borrower. I called it the perfect loan proposal. And then what I did is I said, all right, well, if I'm going to find good borrowers, why don't I build a community of good borrowers? So I started, picking out the best borrowers that I was lending money to, and I invited them to come into this community, and I gave them preferred rates, no points. And then my friends started coming to me that had money and said, hey, listen, I got this money. You got any good deals? I'm like, I sure do. I got all these these guys, you want to jump in on this deal with me? So then we started taking deals down and lending money on them. So all of this started just like, Zuckerberg started Facebook. He started it when you see the movies writing on the glass. And the only reason he started Facebook is because he wanted to know where girls were going and what parties he should be at to meet girls. So we created the community of Facebook. Well, I've created what I would deem the eHarmony of money. And it's called the Private Money Club. It's a place for people that have money, that want to make more money, and people that need money to make more money can come together. We built processes, procedures, and all the systems so that people don't have to think too hard and make stupid mistakes in this space. And we have been in beta now because of COVID for 2 years, and we're about ready to launch it to the public probably in the next 6 months. And it's something that, some people would say, oh, that's been done, but no, this really hasn't, because just like I said, with what we do in privatized banking, we're heart surgeons. That's all we do. We're specialists. This is only going to be for people that have money and people that need money. There's not going to be any wholesale deals or anything else. It's just one vertical. And if it solves your problem in one of those two capacities, it might be the best thing since sliced bread for you.
Love that. And that sounds like a really cool project. So I know what kind of work goes into that. So congratulations. I celebrate you, my friend. I'm looking forward to you launching that. So I imagine that was extremely challenging during.
Still is. Oh, yes. I mean, everything that we've designed with it been ground up. So, when you create something, and this is kind of my big creation, I wanted to control end to end. I love Steve Jobs, he controlled Apple end to end, and that's what we've done. So building that has, yes, been an absolute nightmare.
Love it. Love it. One other question, and then we're going to wrap, my friend. What's one thing? So, in the information age today, and we can read people's bios, we can get on their websites, we can get on social media, and that's one step. And I love doing due diligence before these kinds of calls and everything. What's one thing that maybe people can't tell about you from your bios and socials that you'd like people to know about you?
I'm a mama's boy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. I love cats, and I'm a mama's boy. I mean, we grew up in a lower middle class family, and my mom raised me. My dad really wasn't too much in the picture. So, I've just got this thing in me where, my mother is everything. So, I respect mothers, single mothers, or mothers that have raised families. And I don't know, that's one thing you're not going to find going through all my bios. And you might find out that I love kitty cats, but you might not. So might as well just throw that one out. Usually our shop cat here, Lazy Cash, will join us for these podcasts, but he's obviously being lazy somewhere and sleeping.
He joined. I was waiting for him to jump up during the podcast. He joined us right before we started. I would have never guessed, not in a million years, that you were a mama's boy. So I kind of relate. I didn't have a father growing up, but I would have never guessed that, my friend. I love that. You really threw me there. I dig it. Chris, thanks. This has been an absolute blast. I appreciate you. Again, the investment of your time. What's the website, social media? When somebody watches this, listens to this, and says, holy cow, I have to reach out to that guy, how can they get in touch with you?
I'm not hard to find. You just go to chrisnaugle.com or any social media site. You just type in @the_Chris_Naugle, and boom, there I am. And you can get a really crystal clear picture of who I am, what I do, and the problems that I solve for people.
Absolutely love it. This has been great. Chris, thank you. This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where business owners, Chris, brace yourself. They're making 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures, 10, 11, 12. Look, it's not, brace yourself, Chris. It's not all about the money. I think you'll appreciate this message. It's also about them sharing their wisdom globally and creating impact. That's what it's really about. Thanks for joining us, everybody.